MTN SME Hub. Link to growth. Link to success. Link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show. In studio with us today, we've got Kerri and Colette Parfett. I got that right. And they're from Women on the Move. And the question put to me today was around retail or export. And but there was something else that you said, which was around the maybe men on the move, etc. And I was very happy to hear that you had killed that idea. My strong view is that when companies, small businesses start to do product extension too early, they become very defocused because they start listening to everyone who says, "Oh, I'd like that," and "I'd like that," and then it's kids on the move, and then it's, dogs on the move, and then it's like everyone's on the move, and then no one knows what you stand for.
No core, yeah.
There's no core. So I was happy to hear that. But I want to, when I asked you the question, Kerri, about what was the brand, and I get all the fancy marketing words, and they all mean something, and I don't want to. They were actually very well chosen words. So, but I think the essence of where you are right now in your journey is the biggest focus right now is that story, is telling that story and deepening that story, in terms of the products that tell the story of. That's why I was trying to get it into more colloquial terms. So I need both my hands. So this gives me both my hands, and it's because I'm busy. So I'm busy, and I'm with kids or with something else. So when I looked at all the products, and you had the bags, and then you had the moon bags, and those other things, to me, the name Women on the Move was there. I think you need to take me a little further to close the gap. In your mind, you know what it's for. Just close the gap about always this is about giving you, the freedom of your two
freedom
hands.
of movement.
So to me, that build a brand and what it stands for is before you even think about retail or export, it's deepen the brand, because when you go into those environments, whether you retail, you're going to get copycats very, very soon.
100%.
If they're probably there already.
They are.
Right. So then I need to know, that's a woman on the move. I need to be able to see it. I need to feel proud of, this is not that fake whatever. This is a woman on the move brand. Then it's about choosing the positioning of this. So in the positioning, is it semi-premium? Is it premium? Is it, to the average person who can just, is it affordable? You need a position, and your whole range has to follow that, and it needs to be very clear where you positioned yourself. So I went on your website. Your website's magnificent. It's really well put together. And then I've been followed by your website on every single social media. You're driving me mad. So your marketing is good, but I'm not, I was very conscious of, is it telling that story? Okay, you're on the move. Is it telling, and it's not telling me it's strong enough. So before we even talk about retail or export, I think it's really, really focus on that story, and deepen it in terms of the product. Then I've got, now you've given me this false choice now that I have to make between retail or export. So if I had to look at the two from a cash flow perspective, and my questions around cash flow were very much around, is there a lot of money tied up in stock? And if you get bigger, there'll be more and more money tied up in stock. And that's a killer for a growing business, because you've got more stores. And if they're wanting more ranges, and you're listening to men on the move and dogs on the move,
100%.
then you're going to kill yourself by just having too much stock, right? So if I had to choose, I would choose retail, South Africa retail right now. It doesn't not mean that if you get approached, you won't do it. But what it does mean is that you won't produce product for the export market. You'll produce it for local market. And if they want to buy it, that's great. That means the stock moves. But what I've seen before is when you go into a local market, an international market, then the international buyer says, can you just do this? Okay. And then you go, okay, I'll do that. Then you have to go, and it's not that simple. It sounds simple, but then you have to change, something all along the line. Then you have to hold that stock.
Of course.
And then something happens, and then you're left with that stock, and it can be a killer. So my view, once again, is export what, if you do export if they come to you, and export what you have. Don't make for export, especially now. I'll do that perhaps later. The other thing around you're going for a retail strategy right now, it gives you more control. And I started off talking about deepening that storytelling. If you can start telling that story more in store as well, so either through your point of sale or through the brand recognition, through your labeling, through your packaging, where people identify, you can build out. In South Africa, it's much cheaper to build out all that stuff here under your control, with where you can go and say, no, that's working, that's not working, versus it's sitting on some shelf in Australia, which
agreed.
is hard to manage. Yeah. Then only once you've told your brand story deep enough, only once you've worked out what products are going to have more than one market appeal, and that's really when these people, you will get approached, like you will be approached, right? If they're saying, I like that, I like this model here, you'll start to pick up a pattern of what is universally liked, or what's universal. You'll get better and better at creating a universal product. If you think, I'm looking at your Ray-Bans there, I can see that those are Ray-Bans on you right now. I know from the shape, I can see it. Okay, there's a lot that tells me that's Ray-Ban right there. It doesn't have to have a big name, and that is whether I'm in France or Australia or South Africa. That brand is mass appeal. There isn't a specific nuance. The French like it more in this. That appeals globally. Exactly. That happened over many years of refining what has that universal appeal. Rather build all that here in rand costs, and then only then, once you understand that, then to go and export once you've got that universal range. So in a nutshell, build the brand, choose your positioning, and only once you've got all that right, then export. And that's what I've got for you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay.
That sounds amazing. Thank you.
And I hope that helped you. And do remember, if you think it, write it down and make it a reality.
The Big Small Business Show, proudly sponsored by MTN Business.